This is still TV3 A New Day. Let's continue with this morning's programming. Now, boys and girls who fall on the other side of the law or come into conflict with the law would normally be taken to juvenile correctional centers or remand homes as part of their reformation. Now, to reintegrate them back into society, they are introduced to several vocational skills which benefits them and benefits society in the end. Now, my colleague Bella Mundi is in one of these correctional homes this morning with the story that we are about to take a look at. Let's go. I'll be right back in the studio.
After being convicted of some criminal or civil offenses. And the main aim here is to provide information. And so for all the young people who have come through this system or have spent some time here at the Vocational Institute or the Senior Correctional Center, they are equipped with some requisite skills so that when they are released back into society after their sentence is done, they can find a job and they can find an easier way to reintegrate into society. And so right behind me, you see quite a number of beautiful items, and all these have been created by some of these young inmates here. We'll get to see a number of them, we'll get to speak to a number of them to tell us what it feels like to be able to be this creative and to be equipped with some of these requisite skills. It's very important. But even before that, we'll be speaking to the Greater Accra Regional PRO for the Ghana Prison Service. She is ASP Loretta Amwako, and she'll be telling us a bit about this place even before we go around and take a look at some of these. By the way, we're live, like I mentioned, and we're here at the Senior Correctional Center. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much, first of all, for allowing us to come in here and to also, throw some light on the great work. Maybe you can get closer to me. I know it's covered, but when I'm asked, so hopefully social distancing. Sure. So first of all, this place was established in 2007?
Yes.
And so it's been about 14 years since.
Yes.
Roughly how many inmates do we have in here?
Okay, as of now, we have 225 inmates in safe custody.
Okay. When you say safe custody, I'm sure you use your terms based on your industry. What does that mean?
Okay, what it means that they are safe with us.
Okay.
And then they are not escaping in any way.
Okay.
So everything is okay.
Okay.
As
so
far as security is concerned.
And this is where this is this the only correctional center we have for juveniles across the country?
Yes, please. This is the only correctional center we have across the country. So
when a young person commits an offense, no matter where they find themselves in the country, this is where they're brought to.
Yes.
What's the main aim of this center?
The very main aim of this center is to reform the boys that come here, to rehabilitate the boys that come here, give them hope, because I believe that when they come here, all hope is not lost for them. Most of them, when they are outside, they have this mentality that when things are not right and they are brought here, it ends here. But we are here to give them hope. We are here to let them know that the future is still bright for them, because for them, they have no criminal records whatsoever. When they come here, whatever they do here is to equip them and make them better people when they go out, just so they can be properly integrated into society.
You're saying they have no criminal records, so any child that comes here, once they leave, they still have a clean slate.
Exactly, they continue their lives.
Oh, but you mentioned that only boys. So is this a facility for just boys?
Yes, please. It's a facility for only boys.
What happens to the girls who may also be convicted?
We don't have girls so far in the country. We don't have a center that will keep girls here in the country. We don't have a center in the country that holds girls.
This is a little odd, but I just want to know, so what happens to girls who are convicted? Or you don't have cases like that?
Exactly. It doesn't come more often.
Oh.
Like, we hardly have cases like that.
I see. Okay, well, again, you're talking about reforming them, and so I'm sure they go through a number of activities aside the technical and vocational training. Can you take us through a regular day in the life of any inmate here? Okay. What's it like?
When they wake up, they go about their normal duties, clean their dormitories, lay their beds, and then those who have to go to the various shops go. We also have inmates who go to school, senior SHS, so the bus conveys them to school on a daily basis.
I see.
So in the morning,
outside the prison, exactly. They're allowed to do that?
Exactly, they go to school. Some are in Nachi, Mota, Presec, most of them, they're there. Oh. Yeah, they're trying to make their lives better.
But at least that's top secret, because the students won't know where they're coming from, just to protect these, because I understand that when they're juveniles, you have to even protect them more than the older ones.
Exactly.
And so what courses do they study when it comes to technical and vocational? Because you've said that, there are some in senior high school, there's some in the universities as well?
Yes. Most of them are on discharge, and the universities too.
I see.
Continue with their schooling.
But then if you don't have to go, to regular SHS and, you're very gifted with the hands and stuff, what are the various sectors or angles that you have in here?
So as is beautifully displayed, we have the tailoring shop where we equip inmates who are ready to learn how to sew.
Okay.
So over the period, we've had very good ones who are ready to learn and are doing perfectly well. And we have a couple of them outside now, renowned fashion designers, making a real impact in the fashion industry. And then as you see here, these are made out of bamboos, and they are so beautiful as we can see. Yeah. These are done by inmates. It's a skill they acquired when they came here.
So who teaches them? You have people who come in to teach them?
Okay, sometimes you have artisans, but at the moment, most of the teachers who teach them in these trades are officers. We have senior officers. Most of the heads are senior officers. You have DSPs, we have ASPs, we have junior officers, taking them through all these things that you see.
So once they're out, they can start their own business. Get closer to me, please.
Yes.
Once they're out, they can start whatever business. So I see as well, then I see they've been able to do, some of, what do you call these again? These are the, whatever it's called. I seem to have forgotten it, but we'll get to speak to some of them so they can tell us a bit more about it. But let's talk about the issue of recidivism, or what we probably call repeat offenses. Because again, I read a report sometime in 2018 of a study that was done in the Kumasi Central Prison. That's the adult prison, by the way. But then they talked about how high recidivism was because families don't want to accept some of these inmates when they come out. There are no jobs for them, and so it's easier for them to engage in some of these offenses that they committed, so they're sent back to prison. What is it like for these young ones?
Okay, with the issue of recidivism, we don't really have it here because of the age limits. Because the sentence for the boys starts from 12 to 18 for juveniles, and 18 to 21 for young offenders.
And they're all brought here?
Yes, please, they're brought here. So for issue of recidivism, by the time you'll be discharged and brought back, your age might be above, and so you would have to be taken to the other prison. But in rare cases, because of the reformative programs and rehabilitation programs we give them, it's very rare that we get these young boys going in and coming back.
I see. And so naturally, how long should it take for me to be able to graduate? Or it depends on how quick I learn?
With respect to what we have here?
Yes.
Yes, it depends on
how
how
do they all have maybe a certain number of months that
I mean,
they
the
have to go
maximum
through?
sentence for every boy is 3 years.
Okay.
Maximum 3 years. Yes. Minimum 6 months. So if you are very fast, you can. A lot of some are very good and they learn this within a year or two. Some are very smart. They do it 6 months. They are good to go. So it depends on the boy doing the learning.
How easy or difficult is it transforming these young ones?
Well, I love this question, Bella. I mean, with everything, there are challenges.
Yeah.
You know, we are trying to, it gives us so much joy to see these boys do well, because that's our drive.
Yeah.
That's our drive. But it's been quite challenging. There's a little bit of challenges, because you know how people behave, boys behave. You will see a lot of different attitudinal changes and all that. And then you have to manage them in such a way that they become complete people. So in trying to do that, we have these few challenges to make sure that they become what we really want them to become when they are discharged from here.
What about funding? Because you have to provide these items for them to be able to create or to mold into the finished product. So these are mostly raw materials.
Exactly. With
and
funding,
feeding and all of that. How do you manage?
Exactly. Okay, let me take it from the feeding.
Okay.
With the feeding, we all know, I mean, we said this repetitively on TV and other medias, that we feed these boys on 1 cedi 80 pesos. But
1 cedi 80 pesos a day?
Yes, please. And we are supposed to provide a 3 square meal.
What?
So with the help, this is what the government is doing for us, which we appreciate. So but with the help of donors, we are also able to really cushion the boys with what they give us and make life better for them here. So we really will need more of these donors who would support and cushion us in this area.
1 cedi 80 pesos. How long have you had to, hover around this figure in taking care of these boys?
Ever since the inception.
1 cedi 80 pesos per inmate?
Yes, please.
And how much money is pumped into these, raw materials?
A lot of money. You know how it is here.
So the donors that provide for some of these items?
For the items, yes. Sometimes some provide the raw materials, and then we also use our monies to, most of the shop officers use their monies to procure the raw materials, just so we can help them to learn what we want them to learn. In extremity, if there is nothing that we have to fall on, some go as far as using their own personal money to get the raw materials to be able to.
Their own money?
Yes.
You mean the inmates?
No, the officers. officers.
Oh, the officers,
training
they
the
have to
inmates.
provide.
Yes.
How much do you even get paid in the first place?
You know.
I mean, I'd like to meet some of these young ones. And for the purposes of this interview, and because they are juveniles in a detention center, we cannot show their identity.
Yes.
And so please don't be surprised if you see that we're filming them from, the back, because we're not allowed, per the UN law. So if you can please invite some of them to join us so we get to see a few of the things. And we'll go closer and take a look at some of the items.
Okay, so I'll invite one of the inmates.
Okay. Well, so this is ASP Loretta Valentina Amwa, and she is the PRO for the Greater Accra Regional Ghana Prison Service. She's here, walking us through some of the items that, some of these inmates have been able to create. And you might see it as just one of those things, but when they step out of here, it gives them that opportunity to also start life afresh. And the good thing is they have no criminal record, and so they can reintegrate back into society and be like any of us and have that opportunity to make life better for them. We'll start off with, I see he has, tape measure around his neck. So we'll start off with him. We're heading over to the fashion side, of course, fashion designing. Hello, it's saying, Una upa me nyama we. Efe pao. Efe uba hache. Where do you how many months?
3 years.
Oh, 3 years. I said I'll be coffee soon. Oh, time we yasu. And so when you time aso. Na cheme uba ha na oni made pam dada. Ube sua wa ha. Na wo se ubetumi aye nyoma sa. Na ni nyina obehu wa ha. Eba ne sen na o start se wo pam.
Pacho eba na msumesua adepam.
Oh, wo na o ka se obesia. Nti o mo kire nia ubetumi se na o choose adepam. Na ye den time now start ye na ye den.
Na ye den sa.
Nti pam dia, how does it make you feel? Am I feeling I have to help you. Like, yeah, sir, who say in your way now,